Good day, learners and televiewers of Teleturuan. I am Rebelin Pichua, Teacher 3 of Talipapa Elementary School, and I will be your teacher presenter for today. In our previous lesson, we know that the reproduction is an important part of the life of all living things because it ensures the continuity of life. Humans, animals, and plants have one thing in common. They all reproduce. We also talked about male reproductive system. Male reproductive system consists of ureter, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate, bulbourethral gland, erectile tissue, testicles, urethra, penis, and epididymis. Today, we are going to talk about female reproductive system and their functions. By simply looking this picture, let's try to answer 3 questions. Number 1. Why is the female reproductive system important? Number 2. Which part produces the egg cell? Number 3. Which part can be considered as the most important part of the female reproductive system and why? This organ system ensures the reproduction of the humans. The ovaries of the female produce the egg cells. Most important part of the female reproductive system is the ovary. This is because this organ produces the egg cells and regulates the hormones of the female. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to identify the parts of female reproductive system, know the functions of each part of male reproductive system, understand the importance of the female reproductive system in the reproduction of humans. Have you ever seen this picture before? This is the egg cell. The egg cell is the female reproductive cell. This is the biggest cell in the female human body. The female reproductive system is made up of several organs which include fallopian tube, uterus, ovarian ligament, ovary, cervix, and vagina. It is specifically responsible for producing egg cell and supporting a developing baby inside the mother's womb. The egg cell is only 1/10 of millimeter, about the size of the diameter of a hair strand. This is the structure of female reproductive system. First, let us identify what is uterus. The uterus or womb is the part of female reproductive system in which a baby grows. It is above the vagina between the bladder and rectum. Uterus receives a fertilized egg and protects the fetus while it grows and develops. The uterus contracts to push the baby out of the body during birth. It is about 7 cm long and 5 cm across to the widest point. The uterus is held in place within the pelvis by several ligaments. The uterus is a hollow muscular organ that is shaped like an inverted pear. It has 3 parts. The fundus is atop of the uterus. The body is the main part of the uterus that includes the uterine cavity. Last, the cervix is the lower, narrow part of the uterus. Fallopian tubes, also known as the uterine tubes. These are the tubes that stretch from the uterus to the ovaries and are part of the female reproductive system. The fertilized egg passes through the fallopian tubes from the ovaries of female mammals to the uterus. The fallopian tubes is simply columnar epithelium with hair-like extensions called cilia, which carry the fertilized egg. Ovaries are the female gonads, the primary female reproductive organs. These are glands have three important functions. They secrete hormones, they protect the eggs a female is born with, and they release eggs for possible fertilizations. Human females are typically born with two ovaries stemming from the uterus. Before puberty, ovaries are just long bundles of tissue. The ovaries lie on either side of the uterus against the pelvic wall in a region called the ovarian fossa. They are held in place by ligaments attached to the uterus. The ovaries have three functions. First, they shelter and protect the eggs a female is born with until they are ready for use. Ovaries produce female reproductive hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Ovaries release one egg, or sometimes more, each menstrual cycle. This process is called ovulation. Inside each ovary, there are follicles, and inside each follicle is dormant egg. We have ovarian ligament. The ligaments of the female reproductive tracts are a series of structures that support the internal female and genital in the pelvis. The ligaments of the female reproductive tracts can be divided into three categories. Number one, we have broad ligament, a sheet of peritoneum associated with both the uterus and ovaries. Number two, uterine ligaments, ligaments primarily associated with the uterus. And last, ovarian ligaments. These are ligaments primarily associated with the ovaries. Collectively, these ligaments are tough and non-extensible. They act to support the female viscera and provide a conduit for neurovascular structures. Cervix, it is the passageway which serves as the entrance from vagina to uterus. The cervix performs two functions. It facilitates the passage of sperm into the uterine cavity. This is achieved via dilation of the external and internal. Maintains the sterility of the upper female reproductive tract, the cervix, and all structures superiors to it are sterile. This ultimately protects the uterine cavity and the upper genital tract by preventing bacterial invasion. And at last, the vagina. It is a passageway that connects the cervix, which is the opening of the uterus, to the outside of the body. It is also known as the birth canal. The vagina is an elastic muscular tube about 7.5 to 9 centimeter long. It is located in the pelvis between the bladder and the rectum. The vagina extends from the cervix to the vulva. It is the outer part of humans' genitals. Let us try to identify each part of female reproductive system using words in the box. We have fallopian tube, ovary, cervix, uterus, ovarian ligament, and vagina. Now, let's check your answers. we have the following parts of female reproductive system. These are uterus, fallopian tube, ovarian ligament, ovary, cervix, and vagina. How about this activity? Let us try to arrange jumble letters of female reproductive system. Number 1. It is the part of female reproductive system in which a baby grows. Number 2. Also known as uterine tubes. Number 3. Produce female reproductive hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Number 4. Female reproductive tract are a series of structures that support the internal female genital in the pelvis. Number 5. It is the passageway which serves as the entrance of vagina to uterus. Number 6. It is a passageway that connects the cervix, which is the opening of the uterus. Now, let's check the answers. Number 1, we have uterus. Number 2, fallopian tube. Number 3, ovary. Number 4, ovarian ligament. Number 5, cervix. Number 6, vagina. Remember, the female reproductive system is made up of several parts which includes uterus, fallopian tube, ovarian ligament, ovary, cervix, and vagina. Each part has a function and role in female reproductive system. And a female reproductive system ensures the production of the humans. Thank you for your active participation. I hope you've learned a lot in this lesson. This is Revelyn Pichua, Teacher 3 of Talipapa Elementary School. See you again next time!